Did you ever find out someone was lying to you? And the first thing you felt wasn't even anger. It was admiration. Because of how long they'd been doing it. And how perfectly. This hit raw ProRevenge last month. 210,000 upvotes. Top comments said, "He built his exit using your identity. The law calls that fraud. The law also says every penny of it is yours." There's an update. And what you find out he registered in your legal name. At your home address. Will make you understand why the lawyer went quiet for 40 seconds. Your company is 7 years old. You started it with your best friend in a co-working space that charged £60 a month and smelled like instant noodles and too much ambition. The two of you had 5 clients, 1 second-hand MacBook between you, and a whiteboard on the wall that said year 1 goal, 10 clients in marker that never fully wiped off. That whiteboard is still there in the corner of an office that now has 11 staff and a window that looks out over the canal, 43 clients, a proper website, and everything. You call him Marcus in your head. He handles business development, pitches, partnerships, the lunch meetings you've always hated. You handle operations, delivery, client relationships once they're in. 50-50 split on everything. Always has been. Never a contract because you are best friends and best friends don't need contracts, right? Marcus is the kind of person who makes you feel like the smartest person in the room when he's talking to you, and you've always known that about him, always thought it was just how he was. Charming. Good with people. The one who gets the client over the line when you've been going around in circles for weeks. You trusted him with your signature, your contracts, your registered company details, your national insurance number for official filings, the lot. Because that's what you do when someone is your business partner of 7 years. The thing you kept noticing was the client losses. Not in a dramatic way, just a slow kind of drift. 3 clients gone in Q1, 2 more by June, another 2 in August. Each time Marcus had an explanation before you even asked. Budget cuts on their end. Change in direction at senior level. New internal hire doing what we were doing. He said it all with this slight shrug like it was mildly annoying but just part of the business cycle, you know. Clients come and go. And you believed him every single time. Because Marcus was always the one who found out about the losses first and came to tell you, so why would you question it? He was the one handling those relationships. He would know. You started looking at new business harder, doing more outreach, going to networking events you hate, thinking you just needed to push harder to replace the ones you'd lost, thinking this was just a rough patch. On a Tuesday in September, no different from any other Tuesday, you go over to the shared laptop to print a contract for a new client pitch. Marcus had been using it earlier. He left in a hurry because he had a lunch meeting. Someone important, he said, couldn't reschedule. There is an email open on the screen. You almost close it without reading it. Almost. It's from a client you lost in March. Donnelly Associates, 14 months of retainer, one of your oldest relationships. Subject line, read this month's invoice confirmation. You look at the email address it was sent to. It is not Marcus's address. It is not the company address. It's an address for something called Meridian Advisory Solutions Limited. A name you've never seen. Almost identical to yours. One word different. Enough to look like a rebrand if you weren't paying attention. You don't close the email. You take a photo of the screen with your phone. Screenshot felt too risky in case the laptop pinged. You print the contract you came for. You put the laptop back exactly as it was, and you say nothing. You sit at your desk for the rest of the afternoon and you answer emails and you take 2 calls and you act completely normal, and the whole time there is this very specific quiet feeling in your chest that you will only recognize later as the feeling of knowing something you haven't fully admitted to yourself yet. That night, you run a company's house search on Meridian Advisory Solutions Limited. Director. Your legal name. Print address, dirt address. Your home address. National insurance. Your number. Incorporated 22 months ago. You don't sleep. Not in a dramatic, pacing the floor way. Just lying flat on your back with your phone above your face in the dark, going through every document you can access from home, building a picture one search result at a time. By 3 a.m., you have a spreadsheet. 7 clients. All of them ones Marcus had told you had left for various legitimate reasons over the past 18 months. All of them currently listed on the Meridian Advisory Solutions website as active clients. All of them still paying someone. That's someone being a company legally registered to you. You add up the monthly retainers. £22,000 a month times 22 months to £484,000 paid to a company that is, on every piece of official paperwork, entirely yours. You do the math before you let yourself feel it, because feeling it right now is not helpful. You think about what he actually did here. He didn't steal your clients. He transferred them, using your name, your credentials, your company reputation, into a legal entity that he controls operationally, but that belongs to you on paper. He wasn't building his company. He was building yours. In secret. Underneath yours. And then you think about the part that is either brilliant or chilling depending on how you look at it. This plan only works if you find out. Because if you never find out, he has to keep managing the clients in secret indefinitely, doing all the work, none of the credit, no ability to leave properly. That's not sustainable. But if you find out, when you find out, he gets to have the confrontation, show you the company, tell you he's leaving and taking the clients, and then negotiate a buyout. Except the company is yours. Legally. Entirely. Which means he'd have to come to you to dissolve it or purchase it. He'd have to pay you for the privilege of the business he built using your identity. At 4 a.m. you understand the whole plan, and the small, cold part of your brain that is very good at strategy quietly notes that it is actually impressive. 22 months of patience. 22 months of watching you work harder to replace the clients he was quietly stealing. 22 months of budget cuts and direction changes and lunch meetings you weren't invited to. What he didn't plan was you finding the email before he was ready. You call your lawyer at 8 a.m. Not the company's lawyer, someone Marcus has never met, someone a friend recommended 18 months ago that you saved in your phone and never expected to use. You tell her everything in order. The email, the company's house search, the spreadsheet, the 22 months, the £484,000. She is quiet for 40 seconds. You count them. Then she says, "Are you aware that you are the legal director of that company?" "Yes." "And that every asset, every invoice, every historic payment belongs to you?" You say, "I was hoping you'd say that." On day 2, Marcus's solicitor sends a letter. Polite. It says you allegedly entered a verbal arrangement regarding client management structures and that asserting ownership of the second company's assets would constitute a breach of that agreement. You call your lawyer. She reads it. She says, "He just put his defense strategy in writing, add it to the folder." Stop. Because this is where 210,000 people genuinely could not agree. Top comment. He used your identity without consent for 22 months to build a business. That is not a partnership dispute. That is fraud. Call a lawyer before you say one word to him. 10 comment. He registered it in your name, which means you own it. Every client, every invoice, every penny for 22 months. Don't call a lawyer to defend yourself. Call one to collect. Which one would you have called? You. Came back. 48 hours later, 3 paragraphs. We will get there. Day 1. You send the formal legal notice to company's house flagging unauthorized use of your identity in a company registration. The person on the phone has the voice of someone who has handled this before. Measured, practical, no drama. They say 3 to 5 business days to process. You make a note of the time. 10:47 a.m. You open a new notebook, plain cover, nothing on it, and write the reference number on the inside page. You spend the rest of day 1 pulling together every document that proves the company is yours in every way that matters legally. Email headers showing Marcus using your credentials, the original company's house filing, the bank account details tied to your NI number, screenshots of every client still listed on their website. You photocopy everything twice. 1 copy to your lawyer, One copy at home. Day 2 is Marcus's solicitor letter, which you've already been through. You add it to the folder. Day 3, you start calling the clients. You start with Lena at Donnelly Associates because she's been with you. See her too, and if anyone is going to have questions, it'll be her, and you'd rather have the hard conversation first. You tell her what happened. Not all of it. Enough. Her first word is just, "Oh." Then, after a beat, "I did wonder why the invoices changed address. I assumed it was an admin thing." She signs the transfer back to your original company that afternoon. Drama. She doesn't even charge a new setup fee. Over the next 2 days, you call the other 6. 4 say yes immediately. 1 needs until the end of the month. 1 doesn't return your call. You write it down. 6 confirmed, 1 pending, 1 unknown. You move on. Day 5. You send Marcus a calendar invite titled Company Matters. No other information. He accepts within 4 minutes, which tells you he's been watching your calendar more carefully than usual. Day 6. You print everything in order. The company registration showing your details, the client transfer confirmations, the invoice records, the solicitor's letter responding to Marcus's, and the legal opinion from your lawyer summarizing your claim. You put it all in a plain black folder. The same kind Marcus always carried his pitch decks in. You notice that, and you don't know if you chose it consciously or not. He arrives 5 minutes early. He is smiling slightly, not broadly, just enough to signal that he thinks he knows what this meeting is, that he's been preparing for it, that he's ready. He has the look of someone who has been waiting for a negotiation they plan to win. You don't say anything when he sits down. You slide the folder across the table. You let him open it. You watch him read the first page, the company's house registration in your name. He knows this one. He keeps his face neutral. Then the client transfer confirmations. 6 of the 7 already signed back to your original company. His face changes on that page. You watch the calculation happen in real time behind his eyes. Then the legal opinion. The one that says you are entitled to claim every asset of the second company, including historic revenue, and that the verbal agreement defense is unlikely to hold without written corroboration. His smile takes about 4 seconds to go. Not all at once. Slowly, like warmth leaving a room when someone opens a window in winter. You still don't say anything, because you've already said everything in that folder in the order it needed to be said. You just let him sit there and read it. You came back 3 days later. Marcus settled full transfer of all assets from the second company, repayment of all historic revenue over an 18-month schedule. He signed on Thursday. His solicitor did most of the talking. 6 of the 7 clients are back with the original company. We've brought on 4 new ones in the past month. The office on the 4th floor is still mine. The whiteboard with the year 1 goal is still on the wall. The funniest thing, and I mean this genuinely, the second company he built is actually better run than the original. Better systems, better pricing structure, better client onboarding. He spent 2 years building me a better company with my name on it. He spent 2 years building you a company. He just never planned to give it to you. 2 questions. Which call would you have made first? The lawyer to defend or the lawyer to collect? And is there someone in your life right now who is a little too good at explaining things? Tell me in the comments. Subscribe. These are the stories nobody planned to tell. That's why they feel the way they do.